call the Ramsey County Commission meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes. They're in your packet.
I guess I have a recommendation or a change for the minutes to reflect on the second paragraph, the approval of the August 5th and August 8th meeting minutes. I would like to rescind that motion and amend it to reveal that August 5th approval of our minutes approved for the August 5th meeting minutes.
Okay.
We have never seen the August 8th meeting minutes.
All right. Is that a motion?
That is.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. We'll make that amendment. Anything else in the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Motion to approve the minutes as amended. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Approval of the bills.
I'll move to approve the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the bills. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Otis,
Aye.
Frith,
Aye.
Bulk,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye. Motion carried. Financial reports. Any questions or anything on the financials?
Like the new format.
Yeah, it took me a while.
It's not quite complete because we're still inputting
Data.
past 5 months. So we'll get there next meeting.
Okay. Any other discussion on the financials? Roll call, please.
Otis,
I don't know if we made,
do we
made a
do?
motion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I thought they were good.
Yeah.
That motion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Motion in a second to approve the financials. Now, any other discussion?
Now we want, okay. Otis,
Aye.
Frith,
Aye.
Bulk,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye. Approval of approval of the treasurer's checks.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the treasurer's checks. Any discussion? Roll call.
Otis,
Aye.
Frith,
Aye.
Bulk,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Are we ready for Carrie? Having technical difficulty.
No, we're connecting to Teams.
Oh, there she is.
Can you hear us, Carrie?
Hang on, Gary. We can barely hear you. We're working on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sound's coming out of it. It's just low on the.
Yeah.
Maybe Teams needs to be turned up.
The volume's only up on my end.
Okay, Carrie, we'll try and get through this. I guess we're still having a little trouble, but well, we can hear you on the TV, but you're not coming across the speaker. Well, you could probably do that.
Okay, I'm gonna be your voice.
Hold it back. Okay, Carrie, go ahead. Yeah, we can see you. Is that this?
Yes, they got the attachments.
Hold on, Carrie. We're gonna have you call in so we can put you on the speaker because the TV is just not working here. So how did we have to call her? Oh. We had that trouble one other time with Teams. No, it was when I came in to do that. property tax seminar. Yeah. Hit talk. That's what we hit here. Hello, Carrie. Whoa. Are you there? Carrie.
Is she there?
No. Carrie? Carrie, are you there? Well, page 1 of managing conflict. Hello, Carrie? Carrie.
Yes.
Can barely hear you.
Carrie's asking for us to call into her. I don't have that meeting invite.
Hello? Here.
Hear me?
There we go. Okay, we got you.
All right. Coming in loud, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. All right. So when I met with Candy, we were going over the renewal, and I know last year when we were going over the renewal, there was quite a steep increase in the stop loss premiums. And if you guys are to keep everything where you're at, so keeping your $20,000 stop loss and keeping the current plan that you have, which is your grandfathered classic blue plan, for your stop loss premiums, you would see an increase of 7%. And again, that is the protection that you guys take out and take care of claims up to 20,000. Blue Cross will take care of claims over the 20,000. If you were to fund it, if you need to fund it, I know Candy and I have talked extensively about, I think, the amount of money that you have in your pot. But if you do want to continue to fund it at our suggested funding level, it would be an increase of about 9.8%. If you did it at maximum, it'd be around 10%. We did lower your admin from 9.9 down to 8.9. So that does save you guys a little bit of money. And again, remember, admin is only, you're only paying Blue Cross once, the amount of claims come through. So if the amount of claims that we're estimating don't come to fruition, then you don't pay that amount of admin. Now, this particular plan that you guys currently have, again, is a grandfathered plan. It does not currently cover the GLP-1s, and it doesn't have all the extensive preventative benefits that the non-grandfathered plans have. So when Candy and I met, I put in a request, and that was probably what she just gave you guys maybe today or maybe it was on Friday in your portfolio. But I asked for a couple options just so that you guys can see if you were to change plans. And it also has a couple different stop loss levels. So again, right now you guys are at 20,000. I did ask for a stop request at 30,000 and at 50,000, which means that you guys at Ramsey County would take on a little bit more risk. However, what that does then is it drops your it lowers your monthly stop loss premiums a little bit. Again, you're taking on more risk, but you do get a break on what you're paying in stop loss premiums. But if we were to compare the $20,000 stop loss level that you're at right now with your blue plan, which is going to be the closest plan to what you guys have, the deductible does move from a $250 to a $500. However, now all of the RX, which is the prescription drugs, and the medical go to one combined out of pocket, where right now in your grandfather plan, they are separate. So typically on a family of four, the out of pocket is a little bit greater than when we're on these non-grandfathered plans. So looking at that again, your stop loss premiums do not, that it doesn't matter what plan we're quoting, the stop loss at 20,000 would still be a 7% increase. At the end of the day, when we look at funding it, just because there are a little bit more preventative benefits, so as an employer, you would be having probably a little bit more cost shares that you'd be responsible for, i.e. the colonoscopies if people qualify for that and that sort of thing. So the funding level would be 10.1 on the expected level or 10.4 on the expected at max. So again, not a lot of difference. I did quote this without GLP-1 coverage. So that would mean that anybody that would want weight loss medications, you don't currently have it now, they would not have it as well moving to this plan. That does save a significant amount of money by not covering those GLP-1s for weight loss. GLP-1 coverage would be covered for those that are diabetics, but not for weight loss. The other thing that these plans that I quoted it is what we call net results, which is a new change to our formulary list under the prescription drug portion of it. What it does is it kind of closes our formulary list, and it really does benefit our self-funded clients. There was a essential health benefit mandate that went through in our state legislative this past year that said that all dollars that people spend on medications need to go to their out of pocket. And so we used to have on your current plan, you have what we call a formulary and a non-formulary coverage. On the non-formulary medications that people are on, they pay a 50% sanction, which that 50% that they pay does not go towards their out-of-pocket. So they would pay that the entire year without a cap on what they pay on that. So with this net result, our self-funded clients are going to see a little bit of a savings by putting in this net result. I did send a report along that I believe Candy gave you guys as well to kind of show the disruption of what we see right now of people taking some non-formulary medications. And just kind of to preface a lot of this, when it comes to some of these non-formulary medications that people are on, it could be as simple as maybe they're on a capsule and they would just have to maybe move to a tablet. It's something as simple as that would, give them the full coverage than doing that. If they are on a medication, there is no other alternative, and a non-formulary medications is what they have to be on. They can appeal that, and they can get that approved at the formulary level, so they wouldn't have such astronomical amounts out of pocket themselves. When we look at it for the people right now, you would have 8 members that would be impacted, and the estimated savings would be around $13,000 a year for you guys. So it's not going to be detrimental to your employer group to move to the net results. You don't have, again, a lot of members, and a lot of them could be as simple, again, like I said, that they have to just move from a capsule to a tablet. So again, it's savings for you. So again, when we look at your options by moving to a non-grandfathered plan, you would get a host of all of the preventative benefits, and you really aren't going to have a lot of disruption to your members. So that's kind of the 30,000 view of the documents that you guys have. And I will open it up for you guys with any questions right now at this time, if you have any.
So on the top of the paper we got here, we've got option 3, option 4, and option 5.
Mm-hmm.
That option 3 doesn't cover all the prescriptions, just like the current one we have.
Yeah, so it won't cover the weight loss, which you currently don't offer that right now. And then it will have a closed formulary list. But looking at the report that I sent you, you have approximately 158 utilizers that would not be impacted at all. You'd only have 8 people that would be impacted by moving to that net results, that closed formulary, which again, some of the medications that they're on could be as simple as moving from a capsule to a tablet. But if it truly is the only medication that they can take and it still falls under the non-formulary, they can do an appeal, and then they can get that paid at the formulary level. So of those 8 people, I don't know what actual medications that they are on. The dollar amounts would be roughly around $13,000 that you guys are going to see in savings, just because you're not having to worry about that 50% sanction that you guys are having to pay. So again, it's not negatively going to affect you as an employer. Those 8 people, and like I said, they can work with our customer contact center if they do have to appeal it, or with their doctor to just simply move them to a capsule to a tablet, or another form of that medication.
So we're currently under the classic, right?
Yeah.
We've been at the classic for how many years did we say?
Oh, I think it's been at least 15. At least 15 years.
And if we stay at the classic blue, there's no change, or?
Yeah, if you stay where you're at, it'll just be business as usual. There won't be any, again, you didn't have GLP-1 coverage for weight loss. You still won't have it. There will be no disruption in the prescription drug portion of it, because it will still have our open formulary, so it doesn't go to that closed formulary. I like to show you guys your options each year, just because there may come a day. I don't have an exact day right now where we will be eliminating our grandfathered health plans altogether. We can't sell them. We haven't been able to sell them since 2010, when healthcare reform was passed. And so slowly, we have clients, moving off of these grandfathered plans. And the main reason why they're moving is to offer a bigger suite of the preventative benefits. So that's kind of the main reason. Plus, the grandfathered plans, can get a little expensive, more expensive each year. We do see a little bit of an increase when people first move, but that's because they have to probably fund these preventative benefits that they don't typically have right now.
So do you know what this would, if we move to the next, or to that option 3, what we would have to, I'm assuming we have an account with this money built up, correct? So do we have to increase that more than we have in the past, or we put the same amount of money in, right?
Yeah, I think if you kept it where it's at and it went off of our suggested funding level, let's say we weren't talking, it'd be 9.8 would be the suggested funding level. If you moved them your blue, it would be 10.1. So it goes up, 0.3. So just a few, actually, it goes up $4 on a single.
I guess I'm not tracking what the benefit is of change. Basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, but you're telling me that the classic blue and this 500 NR 15 is pretty much the same insurance, correct?
Yeah, they're pretty similar in that they, both have the 90% co-insurance and one has a little bit higher deductible. Your blue is going to give your employees the opportunity to have more preventative benefits. So, on the female side, they're going to get their PAPs and their mammograms paid at 100%, birth control paid at 100%. On the both sexes, there will be the colonoscopies at anybody age 45 and older that has not had family history or hasn't been doctoring. For anything related to the stomach or the colon, would get a preventative colonoscopy paid at 100%. Right now, you have no coverage for preventative colonoscopies. You do for medically necessary, but you do not have any coverage for preventative. So that again, looking at populations, that could be the, we have a lot of folks that are, maybe upset that they don't get to have a preventative colonoscopy. So that's been a huge benefit of why employers will typically move, is because of some of those preventative benefits. So again, we quoted it without the GLP-1 coverage. If you want to offer GLP-1 coverage, we can get a quote for that, but I will tell you it will increase the cost. You just don't have it right now. So without members having it, we're not taking anything away from them because they don't currently have GLP-1 coverage in their grandfathered plan right now. So, but we do see a huge increase in cost when we do include the GLP-1 coverage for weight loss.
So what I'm getting out of that is it's
Just preventative. I'm tracking now.
it's more on the employee side than our side, which.
Yeah, so it's pretty much going to give benefits to the employees. They will have a little bit, like I said, they have to meet a little bit higher deductible of an additional $250. However, everything that they spend is now going to go towards their out of pocket. And if you guys are going to continue to pay 100% of their premiums, it just gives them a little bit more, maybe skin in the game. Again, just thinking of cost and where you guys are funding up to that 20 grand, they have a little bit more that they have to meet before your guys' admin's going to start as well.
I think probably having that a little bit of that preventive stuff is probably a big benefit.
I do too.
We're seeing health trends track.
Yeah, if I heard your question right, you were kind of asking with those preventative benefits and how we're seeing the health trends track. Is that
Correct.
okay? Yeah. So what we're seeing is we are really focusing at Blue Cross on trying to get these folks to take advantage of the preventative services that they have available to them, and utilizing them. And what we're seeing with clients that are on these non-grandfather plans that have the preventative benefits available, we are seeing that we are able to catch some of these types of also cancers a little earlier than if people don't have it. One thing that we have seen is especially in the colon cancer area, if people don't have preventative colonoscopies, it seems like they're just putting it off, and the next thing you know that they're battling with colon cancer because they didn't want to pay for the deductible and out of pocket on a medically necessary one. So it is really kind of a push that we're doing, and I think with the help of our employer groups like you guys, if you were to move to a non-grandfather plan, to really kind of push the preventative services and make sure that people are taking advantage of them. Again, I think all of us in the insurance industry and you guys as an employer would much rather have people find something, and if we can find it early to prevent anything catastrophic that happens. Again, if those folks don't catch it, there's loss of work, there's all kinds of things that can happen when they're dealing with those catastrophic events. So the preventative services, really, we are seeing that groups that have them are really kind of seeing some of those catastrophic events trend downward.
Carrie, are we on a time crunch for approval to lock in these rates, or is this something that's offered for a time?
Yeah, so typically, in order to keep the what we just showed you, we would need to know by October 31st. So you guys have, a good over a month and a half to decide. Anything that's decided after, I'll say 11/1, then we would have to look at the possibility of re-rating. So hopefully that gives you guys, enough time. And if you need any additional information, I can certainly send it your way. But it does give you the rest of September here and October to make a decision.
Anything else, commissioners?
I think just the only other thing is looking at your dental and vision. Those actually, the dental did not increase at all. So you guys can kind of leave it kind of right where it's at, or slightly increase, I think, by 50 cents if you wanted to on a single. And the vision actually is going down about 2% on the funding level. So again, good news on the dental and vision. And again, no matter which way you look, if you keep your $20,000 stop loss, you're only looking at about a 7% increase on that compared to, I think, double digits in the last couple of years. So. If you don't have any questions now, or you think of questions later, Candy can always email those to me, and I can get back to you guys. And if you need me to attend another virtual meeting or whatever, just let me know.
Okay. Is there anything else for Carrie? Okay. Thank you, Carrie.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Yep, you too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Any discussion on that before we move on? Next to the podium, Chris Jagger.
Good morning. All in all, there hasn't been much changes at all
to my budget. I kept everything pretty tight again. The only thing that really changed was the wage. Everything else stayed the same. And that was pretty much throughout all of my budgets.
The wage you did at 3%.
Yep.
So is this 73 of the?
That was the 3 in the step, like you guys stated.
Thank you.
Yep. Any questions on the main one?
No, what's the second one?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Which one is it, Candy?
39 is a different budget, right?
Hazardous.
Oh, hazardous.
Yep.
Yep. No change at all. Hopefully,
And that's all funded, correct?
Yep.
Fees that are collected.
yep. And then hopefully DES and the powers that be will actually get a little bit better money. Hopefully next year.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
For reimbursement.
For the hazardous stuff.
Okay.
So for all the collection fees, that's supposed to come up just a little bit. So
That's
hopefully can help out.
tier 1 and tier 2 and all that stuff.
Yes, sir. Yep. So hopefully I can help out the responders a lot better.
The UAS, the drone team has a budget of $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just Ramsey County's portion of that, or is that total overall budget?
That's just Ramsey County.
Where else do you receive funds from?
We were promised some funds from Benson County and we never received them.
Okay.
We no longer get funding from the city either.
So do we have mutual aid agreements with those entities?
Yep.
Is there a fee associated with that mutual aid? No.
Do we have those agreements written down somewhere?
Just the prior, just mutual agreements through aid and firefighting, law enforcement, EMS, all the
So
blanketed.
UAS is wrapped up in that whole
Mhm.
agreement.
Because it's usually aiding in their needs. We'll be redoing all MOUs coming forth for the radio stuff. That is going to be that's for every entity. So 911, myself, law enforcement, fire, EMS, they're gonna have to redo every MOU. So I will start looking deeper into some of those current ones we have, and if there's anything that needs to change.
So Nelson County.
we
So I'm basing this on the members of the LEC. Is that typically who you help then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Nelson and Eddy County.
we haven't been in Eddy County in quite some time, a couple years back, but Nelson County, we were there just not so long ago. If you guys can convince the commissioners over there to help fund the project, that'd be great.
Well, most mutual aid agreements, there's
It costs
And-
associated.
there's an hour or two or whatever that's part of the mutual aid agreement, but after that, there's fees associated for the time after.
Yeah.
So I would say that we need to look at that structure because,
Base it off
I
more
mean,
the fire side is what you're going with.
yeah.
Okay.
Because like typical fire is, a 2 or 3 hour window
Mhm.
that the mutual aid is just mutual aid.
Yep.
And after that, then the
The fees.
requesting entity, there's a fee structure.
Okay.
So much per unit, per man, so many men per unit.
Yep.
So many dollars for extra, if it's just people, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, if we called out for a mutual aid asset from another district or region, whether it be state or regional asset, there'd be an associated cost with that, correct?
Not always, no.
No, not always.
No.
But you can't go and call the National Guard for assistance or
That's
other things
federal.
like that.
Yeah.
That would be free of charge.
There is some free stuff out there, like the law enforcement guys. I know that there's not really a lot of fees associated. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, there's no fees. EMS same way. Fire is just a unique one. If you want to start structuring things such as that, we can look at that.
Well, I think we should. I mean,
Okay.
I don't have a problem. We need this thing. I mean, obviously law enforcement uses it more than the rest of us, but I mean, we have had missing kids in Prairie and, seems since we're the regional center, we get dumped on quite a bit. And
100%.
and I'm not looking to recoup dollar for dollar by any means, but I do think, batteries aren't cheap,
No.
and that kind of thing. I think that's only fair that we recoup some cost.
Well, that was at least that was a conversation that I had with Benson County. Was they were just going to pay just an annual fee, and that was basically their coverage or usage.
Right, and that would change my opinion.
100%.
Because you guys are all volunteer. When this thing started, every entity was going to have a couple of pilots. And I know there's, the sheriff's got a couple, and we've got a couple, and city fire has a couple.
Yep.
And that was just to make sure that if Ramsey County had an incident, they didn't have a deputy flying the drone. It was for somebody, so all hands on deck for them. And that's kind of the way it started. But I think that's something that should at least be looked into.
Okay. I will look into that further.
Any questions or comments other than that?
On the contract or writing of the MOUs, I just encourage Chris to reach out to me for any help with that.
Yep.
It's what I'm here for, and we can do research into what other agencies in the area do, and make sure we're in line with the industry and
Yeah.
And maybe there's somebody out there that has the same, I don't know how Grand Forks County works there. Has, I mean, if that's
When we
everybody chips in, that, if
I know when we requested them, they were free of charge. They came over, worked a huge incident with us. So,
but
yeah,
I don't know
I'll
how
check their structure.
how they're funded.
Yep.
Anything else for Chris? Thank you, Chris.
Yep. Thank you.
Deb, you're up.
Good morning.
Morning.
As you can see what I presented, there's not really a lot of change from last year. Most of the biggest change might be in the technology expenses where Michelle had said that she's going to take those back. A few years ago, they were passed on to the different offices. One of the things I'm looking for is probably updating the Endrin computer that we upload all of our information through. That's probably going to be about $3,000, and that would have to come out of our Endrin budget. Last year, I was really close on the office supplies. I try to watch that fairly close to make sure I don't go over budget. But prices have increased with printer costs.
And Endrin, is that where she's doing putting everything digital?
All of our documents go up. It's a North Dakota Recorders Information Network. All of our documents go up onto that system, and people have access
Yep.
to it. They pay a fee.
And we're in the process of going back and getting all our, so how's that going?
We are probably now we're around a little over 31,000 documents left. About one more year, and then if we can, she would have everything into the computer system.
Okay, and that
was that $30,000 that I'd asked for.
okay.
We haven't taken our $30,000 or used our $30,000 yet this year. I've been trying to keep it in our Dendron budget already,
Okay,
so I haven't pulled.
so what I'm asking is, if you got to update your computer with that 30,000, is that gonna?
The computer, it's nothing really special, so it's gonna probably be between $2,000 and $3,000, so
Okay,
it won't be
and-
too bad.
Okay. Anything else for Bev? You have nothing else for us, Bev? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lisa's up. There she is.
Good morning.
Hello, how are we?
Fantastic.
Good, good. Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you still looking?
So,
Okay, as far as budget, everything, is about the same. For the treasurer's department, do you have any questions on that? On the superintendent of schools, of course, we're gonna take out the 10,000 because we are done with project with Ed Moore. And then I just we had three, going back to the superintendent of schools. The total cost on that was $8,609.77, and that was with 3 hearings. So I don't think that was too bad. And we budgeted every year 10,000, so that went back into the pot. The remainder.
With a new staff, is there a reduction in salary since that staff is starting new, or?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
So there'll be a little bit of a decrease there. I don't know as far as part-time help, I keep putting the 8,000 in. You can see that we don't use the full 8,000. But sometimes it's nice to have that cushion in case something happens. And, maybe with new software too, this is going to be our first year for running tax statements with Tyler. Is it going to be easier? Is it going to, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I feel comfortable now. The treasure side, I think I've got everything figured out with them. As far as the apportionments, or they call it interfacing, I think we're on that. And we've got some other things to work on with them, but we're getting there.
Anything else for us, Lisa?
No, if you have questions, that's what I'm here for. And I'm sure you got your yellow slips in the paper for your hearings. Getting a lot of feedback for it.
All of it.
Probably need to talk to your legislators. Because I feel like there was not a lot of information that was even
Given to the public.
exactly. There was no decrease, there was no increase, there was nothing except a date, a time, and a place. And a lot of postage went out for that, a lot of time, it was, I don't know.
What is your postage come off? Does it come off your office or what?
We run it under a general. And I would imagine, we're gonna have to do it again next year. Unless they can change that, but I don't know. I don't know if they can change that. But I'm sure you fellows are gonna get a lot of feedback on it also.
Yeah, I have.
Out of the number of mailings that you sent out, how many returns did you get? Bad addresses or moves or?
As of right now, I think I've probably got 5.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh,
But we keep on that. We keep plugging away on that, or we don't have one. At least I branch out, I call. I work with USDA, the farmers. If I don't get something, I work with them and say, hey, can we share something, an address?
that's good.
So as of right now, there was only 5 that came back.
That's really that's pretty remarkable. Considering the number of
Well, there's just a little under 15,000 statement
yeah.
pieces.
The questions I get, you can come to this and talk, but what are you talking about?
Right.
You have no numbers. You have no clue what you're talking about. They don't even know what went down. What you come and talk, right?
Exactly.
I don't know.
And I know we did a printout this year that was for every parcel. Maybe next year, after we get comfortable with Tyler, we could probably do some combination thing. But Candy and I looked at it, and I think doing it separate parcels was better for the customer. So that's why we went separate. I had a lady she lives in Walhalla. She has farmland in the Edmore, the Edmore district. Well, she got 5 or 7 pieces, quarters or whatever pieces, sheets of paper. They all had the same district on it. So but it was each parcel that had to go out.
Our thought process behind that too was to try to catch if something wasn't
Filed right. Yeah.
Or, before the actual statements went out.
It's
So
more
that-
of a part of you.
Yeah.
I totally.
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah. So that's why we did it each parcel number instead of probably a combination.
And prior to this, that totally made sense because it had your numbers on there for each partial. Now, there's nothing on there besides, you can come up to the hearing.
Right. There's no
What are you gonna talk
increase
about?
or decrease on there. And really, these people they have to give us a written notice before they come to this hearing, because they can't talk about valuation. They can't talk about what school district, or they can't talk about, there's nothing they can really say. They have to give us a written notice.
To give you guys just a little bit of information on this change is there's actually a change that our office now in March has to send a notice to every parcel of their value change. So in the future, people will receive that in March, and then they'll get this budget letter in August. So that's why that is. So now you're doing it twice instead of just once in August.
Gotcha. So
when you send out that thing in March, that's going to have your fire on that.
I think it only will have like we currently do it, but only for changes that are over 10% or $3,000 in value. But now everybody's receiving it, whether they have a change or not, and it'll just have like what their value change is. Basically, it doesn't say anything about the budget or that.
They won't have the hearing notice as well.
You'll
you know,
definitely-
just have the valuation.
So in March, you'll find out what your value change will be prior to like the tax, county tax equalization meeting. And then in August, you'll find out what the budget.
So when you get that statement from you in March, is it gonna have the breakdown of it, or is it just gonna be one?
I believe it'll just be your true and full value from 1 year to your true and full value to the next.
Correct. Yep, that's what the form looked like. It's very-
There's no breakdown who's getting that.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. At least with last year's, we knew like a little increase, decrease, so you had, you could go to the meetings and decide. You still couldn't talk about, I mean, you couldn't get up and talk to the commissioners. You had to have that written slip, but at least you kind of knew what you're into. And then of course, now with the 1,600 that's coming on for this next statement, if you applied for it, you know, people still want to know, what's my taxes going to be? Well, we're not there yet. So I gave them from last year, but there's quite a few that applied for that 1,600. And we got more of the mobile home people to apply so that we probably don't even have to send them a statement. And that's what I explained to them. If you get this, if you get a statement, I mean, because I get a confirmation number, if you get a statement, please come back to us, because you shouldn't get a statement, because that 1,600 should cover the full statement. And this way, then it takes away from having to cut a check to them, or having them to wait probably 6-7 months till we get the money from the state, because they run on a current year.
Or to file an abatement.
We'll file an abatement, yeah.
Anything else for Lisa? Well, I'm sure we're not hit rock bottom yet in this mess, so
No,
for
no.
thank you for trying to figure out as much as you can.
I mean, it's okay. It goes along with the job, you know, but yeah, it's fine. So, okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right,
Yep.
thanks, Lisa. It's 9 o'clock. Well, is Cindy the only one that stops at 7 or at 9, or the rest of them? Okay. Cindy,
Yes.
come on up.
I am coming back from, I think I visited in February or March, maybe March, I don't know, about some training with the opioid money. And I wanted to give you guys an update of where I'm at, because this is a really slow turning wheel for me, because I am actually tobacco prevention coordinator, but I'm running 3 grants since Lori passed away. So I try to keep all 3 of them going. So just to give you a little bit of an update with, as far as the opioid, whatever in our community, we've done 2 take back events this year. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with it, but I just wanted to share the efforts that have happened. We've taken back 20 pounds of unused medication. Pharmacies have those, but sometimes people don't know exactly where, or you stuff it in your cupboard, and so I feel good about our efforts on that. The syringe exchange is up and running in Evolution Counseling. And we just last week got our vending machine. So we will have access to naloxone there for citizens in Ramsey County, as well as Narcan access box we placed in the library. Last Friday I went to the post office to ask, because their manager was out from us for a while. So in our community, naloxone is accessible to people. And that's even, that's not the cure all. Okay, but we also use the billboards in town to advertise that we have naloxone for people. Um, I was able to get out to Minnewacan School, and my goal this year is to train all of the high school students as they leave um, high school as far as naloxone or Narcan, and if they want to take that with them to colleges because they're entering this world, colleges or wherever they go, people they don't know and habits that they've maybe been somewhat protected from at home. Um, resistance, a little bit of resistance to that, you know, um, early early training before problems, and I'm just this gets me in trouble and it just makes me crazy. But the college students, we just attended their orientation and we trained all of them for naloxone. And we are partnering with the college to maybe try to go out there weekly, not weekly, every other week or once a month to just provide services for them in all of the prevention areas. And also, I did safe medication for with NDSU students this summer. They are a great partner. So we talked about safe medication with the babysitting class and the home alone class. And those kids they're receptive to information about safe medication and um, they need this information earlier before onset of use. Um, and that's where I run into resistance. So to bring you up to speed with where this went, um, Blaine, you had asked if there was a chance that we could get a train the trainer so that we had access to this training.
Mhm.
You know, that is not available for this. Um, and so they are not able to offer that. Um, so I should have highlighted um, where that wasn't here. I have the email from her talking about why they don't do train the okay. Anyways, I'll just give this to you, Blaine, to look over. That they couldn't they provide updating every year of it, and so there's a fee like $100, $120 fee per person that takes a training to keep it updated. So this is a constantly changing curriculum and it's updated with the newest whatever, but it's an overall prevention. And so I went to visit with our superintendent because so in public health we go upstream, right? We try to prevent it, but it feels like we're caught in a system of really like the problem is. That's where our attention gets. But if we could do something upstream to prevent some of the onset of it, it would be great. But I got told what I was told was that I could take this training and see if it's helpful. Well, I have 17 schools, so if I take this training, it's going to be very limitedly helpful because I can't go and do this training for 17 schools, right? I can't even do Ramsey County, honestly, in a good way. So I was asking if like counselors could come and that was a no. And I got back to my office and I was frustrated because it was like, well, I heard, like if you tell kids something, then you're giving them the idea. And that's just simply not true. You're not giving them ideas. You're treating them like individuals that need good information to make good choices. Okay. And so I left there. He was concerned a little bit about the backlash from parents if a program is used for prevention. Um, and they hired a new prevention mentor at the high school 2 years ago. And I did email and ask if he could attend the training with me because at least then we could use it on the kids that are again already seeing result, like negative things from from use or whatever in the in-school suspension, but at least we could use it in a targeted way. So I have 2 people from Ramsey County, myself and the prevention mentor, that could take this training, and we could use it with the kiddos that are sent to in-school suspension. So that's where I was kind of at with finding out, like, you know, what we could do with this. So, like I said, I get myself in trouble by trying to go upstream. I got myself in a hot water with the tobacco because I wanted to get to little people because they need the information and the ongoing information that, hey, this is going to be harmful. This isn't good. And so, but there's also books that come with this. So the training, if they will honor it, they gave me a quote for 6 people to go. I don't have 6 people because I don't feel like without the superintendent saying yes to each of his employees, I at a stop. He did okay, Bradley, to go, Davidson. So, and the charge for that is $750 per person. I did ask Bradley to pick a day that he would like to take this training, and he picked the October dates that are within the, you know, they give us the dates each month, they're providing it. But we also have the books that would go with it, the youth workbooks, and the prices are $22 if you buy 200 of them, or under 200, and then of course they get lower, right, if you buy more. So 18 if you buy 200 to $399, and if you buy 400, you get it for 12. So I just, like, if we bought 400 books to get the discount, we're spending $4,800. And I'm, you know, as much as this would be a great program for me that the school to do across the board, because it helps kids examine their personality and whether they're risk takers, and just creating that self-awareness of that. I think, you know, I don't know if we want to bite off buying 400 books right now with the money and our 2 trainings. And I didn't.
Andy, this money comes out of the opium. What kind of money is in that opium? Sorry.
I haven't updated this yet. It's like
And we're looking at roughly $6,300, $6,500, 400 bucks and 2 people's training. I think we would be fool not to spend $6,500.
So what age group?
This is like 6th grade through high school.
Okay.
And honestly, I visited with people in the community. I went up to juvenile courts because I'm like, I think this is going to be a good thing, but nobody's taken it, you know, so it's very at the onset of it. So, and of course, this doesn't necessarily address anything with parents. And I do have another resource but I just haven't figured out how to get it out to parents and what's the best way. But there's these Operation Parent handbooks that also cost money. But there's one for elementary school and middle and high school. And they have every type of prevention in her prescription and overdose, you know, social media, tobacco, alcohol, all of the things in it. But, you know, I just want to be right with, like, how do I get these to the people that most desperately need them? Or do we do a wide across the thing, or do I buy them? And do we offer like classes based off of them? That, you know, tonight our topic is gaming. How do I get the parents to come? How do we have these conversations so that we get the best from them? Because I've taken pamphlets. Parents Lead has a lot of this stuff. I've taken it to schools. I'm out in the community. But a paper gets thrown away.
I was going to say mass pamphlets isn't going to be the answer.
No. And I don't know if mass this is. I know that when I was a parent, I had 4 wild boys and a daughter that I looked for parenting classes because I do not know what I'm doing. Each one of them needs a manual, but I honestly know that I would have liked this, but I don't know that that was 25 years ago, 30 years ago. The other thing that I like about this program is that they have webinars every month for parents if they're interested. You don't have to go to it necessarily to a parent meeting, but their last one was on substance abuse prevention. And if you log on to it, you get a recording of it. So you don't have to sit there in front of the computer at 1:00. You can, if you log on, it will send you the recording. They're very good. One of them was on preparing your student for college and what you put in that, that healthy kit, and making those. But this is a parent thing. And right now, I guess where we're at with this is the training and at least implementing this. I would love to at least be implementing this in the ISS program to just be able to say, hey, this is what we did. This is, it was successful, and be able to grow from there.
So if this counselor that works for the school, he's getting that training, he's not going to be able to present this at the school, correct? Is that what I'm getting from you? But you have permission to have him have this training.
Yes, I have permission from the superintendent for him to
he's
take
willing
the
to
training.
help you.
So
Yes.
He has permission basically if someone was to come to him, he can help.
Yes.
He just can't go out and present it.
No.
No.
I had gone to the school this year, even with the kids that had trouble with vaping and stuff last year. And I had a list of students, and I was like, can we just touch base with them this year and just see what the support they need? And it was, no, we can't do that because we have to wait till they get caught or in trouble again. And I get really frustrated with can we support people, in we might.
Basically the training is to get you guys trained up and then have material if needed.
Yes.
Is the way I understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And I think
it's 2 lessons with kids, so it's something that can be done during an ISS. And it's not just opioid. It's
okay, just for stupid people in the room, including me. What's ISS?
Okay, in school suspension instead of out of school. They're not, if they get whatever, but it can be used for,
I think this is something that
we definitely
we got the money. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but this is a small step in the right direction. And that's what this money is for. And if we don't start it, we're not going to find out if this works. So that's my opinion.
Doing nothing is hard for me, especially but in this was, these books, I tallied up the school, the kids in the school. I took those numbers, and I believe to provide these books, it was $9,000. I mean, don't quote me on the exact, but so that's what these books were for. But I'm not really quite sure if taking them to schools and distributing to every parent, or if there's a better way to distribute them.
So is there an ask today?
For the training, I would love to ask for the training and the whatever number of booklets to get off the ground for the prevention.
So with spending this money, are the schools okay with you coming in and distributing, or is that something that hasn't been discussed yet?
It can be used in school suspension program, not general population.
So not general.
Faults happen.
Yeah. So not all 1,858 students of Devil's Lake will get a,
Nope.
okay,
We're definitely,
you're not looking at that. You're looking at a much smaller number. Okay,
much smaller number this year, hopefully to grow.
yeah.
Well, I guess
Hopefully
to
not
me,
to grow.
yeah,
Well, no, I'm hoping to grow that it can be a,
prevention side of it.
Prevention side of it, yeah.
yeah,
I
That's-
guess to me, I think 200 books in the tuition, whatever you want to call it, for the two people.
The training.
That's where I would start. I mean, since it's limited to the people in the suspension program. I mean, so,
So move to approve the dollars coming out of the opioid settlement fund for the approval of purchase of the 200 books and the tuition for the two people to attend the training.
is there a second?
I second that. Go ahead.
Anything else you want to say?
no, when I feel like I have a good plan, I will come back, and I just want to make sure they're distributed in a way that's gonna be good. How do I go about this, or is this a conversation I have with Candy? We'll have a conversation. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
Cindy,
Yes.
before you make another presentation or after, whenever,
Yeah.
I'd be very happy to sit down with you to see if we can come up with a plan together, because this is very much what I deal with on a regular basis.
Yes.
If we can get people out of the system before they even interact with me, I much prefer it that way. So
Yes.
I'm very happy to sit down with you at some point to see
Okay.
if we can come up with a strategy to convince the schools
Cindy, your phone is
to be
set.
more proactive in prevention and other things.
Okay. I would love that, because I feel like I have my Benson County schools are just so hungry for stuff, and I just think that, it's a slow shift of mine.
Yep.
But it's hopefully we're getting there.
Happy to help
Yes,
convince
thank you.
people to be open to it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Michelle, I think you're up.
Well, as you can see, there's an increase from last year from what I found. The reason being for increase in support is because we added Sidwell to help with the GIS. And so they will be helping throughout the next year. So after this year's budget, that amount will decrease probably by half. Software.
The support line.
The support one, yes. The maintenance one, my personal opinion and what I like to see is I don't see a reason for every department to worry about their office licensing. I'm the person that has to get the quote anyway. So I decided that I was just going to take that all back under me, since the money comes out of the same fund, just a different department, that not everybody needed to keep track of that. So I took that back. That's why that has an increase. And I also have the NetMotion software included in that for the sheriff's department. So that is where that increase is. Also, every office license this year increased $5 per user.
The question, we should see this decrease in every other office.
Correct. Yes. I just took it under the technology instead of having each department have it on them.
Nope, I just want to ask that question so that I don't have them coming in here thinking that's extra free money for them.
Nope. It's
'Cause
easier to
it will
keep track.
budget out. It's just going into your budget.
Correct. It's just under my department now instead of under everyone else's. And so those were probably the major increases in why it looks like this budget is a lot more than last year. But those were some of the changes made since I came on.
So on here, under your maintenance, you got 32,368 plus 1260, or is that 1260 and the 32,000?
So it's the 32,368 plus the 1,260 because I got the net motion for the sheriff's department after I wrote that amount down.
Okay, that's for the sheriff's.
Yep.
Any questions for Michelle? Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so question. Should we had the water resource board before we went back and he just stepped out? I don't know if that was because he's just leaving or. Well, if he comes back in, we can switch, right? Okay. Beth, you're up.
Good morning. Just as far as salary, did the recommended change for myself and then the office staff. If you saw the attached letter from previous HR, there is a great change that could be possible this year. She has received her certification for class 2, but should receive her certification for class 1 by March. So that would mean a great change because she would move to a deputy tax director from just administrative assistant. It was hired that way because most people that applied, and there was no one that applied that had the certification. So that's how that was started, and just kind of tried to prorate it as close as possible with 8 months at the different changes. I just worked with Candy on that briefly. And then I've tried to reduce all my other categories. It is getting down to the very, very, very bare minimum, but I think that we can go without a new computer next year and some things like that. So I did try to reduce those. Technology, Michelle took on a portion of it, the 500 that's in that. It comes from, we help pay for the recorder software because we use that in our office also some. And then for service contracts, our actual service contracts that we've had in the past have stayed the same. However, Michelle had me take on the Sidwell Soils and Farms, which was an additional amount added there. I did call around just to see what budgets that usually comes out of in other counties, and it was everywhere. Some were from the ITGIS, some were in the general fund, and some were at the tax director's office. So wherever that falls, we just put it under our office for that. A couple things that to bring up, since Lisa was kind of speaking of the notices, there were a couple legislative changes that may cost us some dollars, and I'm trying to kind of figure out how to offset that. But I think our mailings really come from the general fund as far as postage. But now in March, every parcel will need a letter from us stating their change in value. So that obviously is an increase in postage and envelopes, and I don't even begin to know how to stuff that many envelopes, but I'll have to learn on that. And then we also, the primary residence credit is really actually a state credit, but somehow it was put on the tax directors that we have to, in May, send notification of approval or denial to everyone that's going to receive, that everyone that applied for that in Ramsey County. So there's an additional mailing that we have to create and do and pay for. With that said, just to throw this out since it came up, with these notice of increase having to go out, that means that the ag land value change would need to be made probably in January or February instead of at the county tax equalization meeting, because that would be part of the notices going out. So we'll be looking at doing everything a little faster in a time frame that's already too fast. So I feel bad for the auditor's office. And
once the change is made, it's just going to be a January time frame every time.
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And until 27 when they decide to change it.
Yeah. How it kind of affects like right now too, like the splits and combinations they have to fall in that time frame too, because it's after the tax statements, but before these mailings can go out, before I put values on. So that's all now hurried up in a really short time frame. So, but other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions for Beth?
I'm none.
Okay, thank you, Beth.
All right, thank you.
Bryce.
Morning.
I did have one error on my budget. My technology should probably be reduced by 2K. I had 3,200 on there. I got a new printer last year, so that's why there's that increase last year. So that should 1,200 would keep me from going over budget if it has the same type of purchases in the previous years. And then I had just a small increase in the telephone office supplies, and that's just to keep me from going over budget. Again, it's been averaging a little over 1,200, so I put it at 1,300, so I don't go over budget. Other than that, I haven't changed anything.
And you're still doing basically freebie work for which counties?
Right now, Towner County, Cavalier County, and stuff on there. There's no VSO in Walsh County right now, but Grand Forks picks up a lot of those guys from Grafton and stuff, and then the ones closer to Dakota and stuff kind of get migrated in and stuff too. So I seem to pick up a lot of clients from Rolette County and stuff too.
They have a
VSO.
Okay.
There's actually two up there. There's one in Belcourt and one in Rolla.
Okay. And there's no indication from these other counties that they're even pursuing.
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
So is that something that we need to reach out?
Well, that's what I think we need to do because
A letter, send out to them. I mean, it makes your. It gets to the point where Bryce is almost going to be the secretary. He's going to be covered.
Well, that's just it. I mean, obviously, he was hired to do 3 counties, which is probably a fairly substantial workload. And if we're getting all these other counties,
Isn't it mandated under century code that each county has a VSO?
Yes.
So, these counties are without one and without contracting, they're currently in violation of state law. So,
is that something you can help us with?
It's something I can research for you. It's not something I can force other counties.
Well, I mean, if all we can do is send a letter, the letter needs to be sent.
Sure, absolutely.
Because if they want to form
a joint powers
agreement and it requires to hire another person, I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna, just get you more money.
Yeah, but
obviously you need help with the work too.
But if it's a billing issue or something too, I can pull up on my computer system every veteran that I serve in another county and get you a list.
That would probably be very helpful.
Yeah, that's an easy run.
Because I mean, if we have to add somebody to the 3 counties now, I don't have a problem with it. But if that requires he has an assistant, then all that needs to be part of the inquiry.
Yeah, because we don't want you to turn someone away.
Right. Well, it's sad that they have to have an advocate in the first place, that they just don't get what they were promised. But like if somebody's not happy with in the 3 counties that are paying him, but it's because he's got way more than he can handle from other counties that aren't, that's a problem for me.
Yeah. Bryce, I have a question on your requested wage for next year. Did that not change? Did you not put in for next?
I didn't know what that was going to be on there, so I haven't. So I just left it.
I think that needs to be adjusted.
Yeah.
Because I think it was pointed out last year that you were significantly underpaid. We had to increase your salary, so I don't want to fall behind again. So I think there should be probably a 3% included on that, like we offered to our other employees.
Yep.
On the same deal.
He's on the step system.
Yeah.
Also.
So.
Yep. I'll get that to him.
Okay.
Anything else for Bryce? Well, if you wouldn't want to keep in contact with Daniel and give him some time to do the research. And I think that's, if you want to put put those numbers together out of who's not included in the 3 counties, I think that would.
Well, it gives us a leg to stand on anyway.
Right.
Now, I get lots of ones and twosie type things from counties all over the state too, and some from out of state and stuff too, but that's all right.
Well, 1 or 2, I mean.
Yep. Yeah.
But if you're doing everybody in the county or 90% of the counties.
Well, then the thing is, this is what happens. So let's say, which I'm just using an example, Towner County won't have anyone, right?
Right.
Now you're doing, then the word of mouth gets out there and it just keeps growing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the quality of service has to go down because there's just not enough hours in the day. So we need to correct that.
And just short answer is yes, each county shall appoint, employ, and pay a veteran service officer. So that's conversations that you and I can have about the load that you're getting from other counties, and we'll work on coming up with something to present to the commission about how exactly Ramsey County is being responsible for other counties, constituents, and other such things.
Yeah, I think too, part of it is because we have the VA CBOC up here, the clinic, and they get told, hey, we'll go put in for a disability or something. Well, it's convenient for them to just go a couple blocks down.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And there's nothing, or the statute actually states that you can contract with other counties, but if they're utilizing you, we should make sure that you're being appropriately compensated by those other counties as well.
Anything else for Bryce?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce.
Thank
Well, Jason, I guess you're next.
Good morning. Did John leave anything about what we discussed, or?
He did. So water board had a regular meeting, ordinary business was handled before on the Newbury Snake and Clear loan for a pipe on Channel Lake. One request from a landowner to deal with the culvert on Highway 2 they feel is too high. KLJ will send out a request to DOT per landowner's request. But it doesn't say anything about what you had discussed with
Okay. All right.
the culvert situation and the 60-40 deal is what I think.
Yeah, exactly. So to start, since we covered that, I did go in meet with the water board about Ramsey County 10, the local share on that. I did find a policy an old policy that was in the office, wasn't dated, but it says that Ramsey County will take care of all pipe 36 inches and larger, and then especially, our road authority pipe. We visited with Paul this morning. It was kind of left that on this particular case, Ramsey County will be covering the local share. But from here going forward, I'm going to get with Daniel. We got to draft something. This is the first time we've ran into this. Our policy specifically states a new legal drain, the one we have in our office. Well, this is an existing legal drain. So it kind of goes against Century Code, because Paul found in Century Code for us that maintenance on a legal drain is absorbed by the water district. So they should be paying it. That's Century Code, but we have our own policy that says a new legal drain.
Okay.
So it's clear as mud, like Mr. Martinson said.
Yep.
So we're going to get it straightened out.
Okay.
We had budgeted for it. We had planned on doing it. It came up kind of late. We got to get it right for future projects, because there's going to be more future projects. So
yep.
That's agenda item number 1 for me to get working on that.
Okay.
Get that squared away. So with that being said, we'll jump into what I had sent you guys. Going over the soft spot map. On the soft spots are actually getting worse on 4 and 7. Over the weekend, we had received a call from one of the commissioners stating how bad Ramsey County 8 was. I went up there, looked at it, had one of my guys come in on Saturday, and he filled in those spots where we'd replace culverts. While he was there, in 15 minutes, filling the one spot, we counted 11 semis. So we are heavy truck traffic. I don't know if it's because of what's the big terminal has, but for Ramsey County 4, 7 and Ramsey County 8 are it's unbelievable, the truck traffic on those 3 roads. So anyway, On Ramsey County 7, the soft spots, there are 24-inch centerline culverts in 2 of those. We have that culvert in stock, and I think before we try to fix that and put the geogrid in the road, we should remove those culverts and put new ones in. So as we do it as part of the project. We're doing on 4. So I'd like to just, I suppose, get a motion from you guys, ask for a motion to go ahead with that and replace the 24-inch 64 feet in the soft spot repair sites.
So that's for 2 culverts then.
Yeah, it'd be 2 different sites. Yeah.
I would make that motion to replace them.
Second.
Motion and a second to replace the culverts, to go along with the soft spot repair on Ramsey County 7. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
Next, KLJ sent an invoice for preliminary engineering on the thin lift overlay projects for 2026. That's the Woods Rutten Road, the Prairie Road South, Ramsey County 7, the 1 mile by Brockett to State 1, and then Ramsey County 4 from Ramsey County 8 to North Dakota 17. This preliminary invoice was for $5,700.15. So I'd like to ask for motion to pay the invoice.
So moved.
Motion and a second to pay KLJ Engineering $5,700.15. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, roll call.
Hodis.
Aye.
Frith.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye.
Okay, the next one is KLJ's engineering invoice for construction engineering on 89th Avenue South Minnewacan project for $28,074.52. I'd like to get a motion to pay this invoice. And again, this is the North Dakota DOT grant money, so that's all 100% reimbursed.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to pay Gowan Construction $29,272.48 for South Minnewacan grant project. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Hodis.
No, I think the motion was stated wrong. I think
Oh.
it's KLJ.
Yep, KLJ.
I'm sorry. 28,074.52.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, no problem.
Hodis.
Aye.
Frith.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye. Now we're on Gowan.
Okay, Gowan Construction invoice for class 42, 1,166 ton of the 2,500 ton quote has been delivered. So I'm asking for a motion to pay $29,272.48 of the total for what we've received so far.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to pay Gowan Construction for the gravel that's been delivered, $29,272.48. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Hodis.
Aye.
Frith.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye. Motion carried.
All right, close progressive estimate 4. I'm asking for a motion for our chairperson to sign the estimate, South Minnewacan 89th Avenue project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second for the chairperson to sign the estimate for close construction. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
That being said, that close progressive estimate 4, the invoice was for $88,660.81. And this is for that same South Minnewacan project, so I'd like to ask for a motion to pay that invoice.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to pay close construction $88,660.81. Roll call, please.
Hodis.
Aye.
Frith.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye. Motion carried.
The surplus the equipment list was sent to Candy for each of you, I believe.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys want to run through the whole list. I brought one if you wanted to, or if you had any questions on the list. But if not, I'd like to ask for a motion to declare the listed items as surplus and move forward. There's 2 online auction businesses in Devil's Lake now, I noticed. There's the new one east of town, and then there's Mr. Jacobson, who we worked with in the past. So I will be requesting quotes from both of them, what their fees will be, and then I'll bring that back to the next meeting when we can get this up listed and running and what costs will be.
Is there a motion to approve the surplus equipment list?
So moved. Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
Every year we put in the, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm going to jump on here. I'll come back to the 36-inch culvert I already started. So every year we put in the budget for $20,000 to replace some motor grader tires on the oldest machines, obviously, and the ones who need them the most. See a lot of wear on the front generally with all the roading that happens on these routes. So we took quotes from both vendors. They were both very close. They were like within $80 of each other per tire on the Michelin Snow Plus mud tire that we run on the graders. Goodyear did come in at the low quote. So for 12 tires, I could meet I'm just outside the budget by $500 there at $20,550. So I'd like to ask for a motion to order the 12 motor grader tires, and we can replace the ones needed when we put the wings on. So we usually do it when we bring them in to get them ready for winter.
So moved.
Motion and a second to okay the ordering of 12 maintainer tires. Any other discussion?
Jason, are they the same brand that are on the tires now?
Yes.
Okay, so there won't be any mismatch of
No, we tried that in the past and
doesn't work.
And now it seems like they wear at different rates then. So a few years ago, since Michelin went on the state bid site, they were never on state bid Michelin. So we really couldn't, we weren't going to pay a full retail price. But now that they are the last few years, we've been able to stick with everything, keep them matching.
Just want to sure.
Yeah, generally we try to do the 2 fronts and then take those fronts and move them to the back, because with being front wheel assist, that's where we want for turning and
Right.
those kind of things. So that's usually where we're looking to do our replacing.
Only question I had.
No, perfect.
Oh, we need to vote.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anything else? All in favor of buying the 12 tires, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
So we are going to be in need of some 36-inch culvert for replacing our stock culverts. There's still money in the budget line from 25 for this. So we're probably going to need more later too, as see how the fall goes. But as of right now, I got a quote for $10,800. And I guess I didn't put the footage on here, but from True North Steel. And that may change a little bit once I get that dialed in, but it would be less if anything.
You have a quantity number?
Yeah, that's what I didn't put on here, but I was looking at when I had them quote me, I was looking at 8 and 8, so 8 20-footers and 8 24-footers. So
Make a motion to go ahead with the order to True North Steel for the replacement stock.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to authorize the ordering of the stock culverts. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
and I'll have the exact quote for that at the next meeting because it won't be delivered yet, so I can bring that for you guys with the footage, what we're getting, and then the exact dollar amount on that. The last thing was just a bit of conversation that I was going to ask about. One of the commissioners had stated Gleason's is coming a long way with the building. I don't know if you've been by to see it. It looks very, very nice. It's very solid structure. Should last the length of time. But one of the commissioners had mentioned one of the counties was getting salt for no cost. Do you guys remember that in one of the meetings?
Yep.
Do you remember which county that was?
And Nelson.
Nelson. Okay. So we've been getting price quotes. I had Wade give me a quote when he was getting his quotes for the city and stuff like that. but I wanted to reach out to that county. I could not find that in my notes because if there's a way to buy it or get it for less.
I think the way they were able to do it, they had to go down and pick it up. So it
Right.
was, freight.
But that was Nelson, so we can we're check on that. If that's a possibility, we'll do that. We do have the asphalt for the floor lined up, which should be, they're going to do our pavement repairs starting Monday. I talked to Tri-State this morning before the meeting. So it looks like they're going to get our asphalt cuts finally, the ones we have going on Monday, and then they'll move right to the floor of the salt shed and then the stuff in front of the shop. So that'll all be more to come on that. And other than that, we talked at the water board meeting also about a low water crossing. That'll be a 26 project. We've been filling in every year for some rusted out culverts, and we're gonna have it looked at and get it reviewed, and then of course I'll bring it to you guys for approval when we have more information on that. But we just got that going. But that's a 2026 project.
Okay. Any questions for Jason? Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks.
Sheriff Lang.
Morning. Just to update you, we did some interviews for our last deputy's position. We did have 2 applicants that are licensed and probably less time to train on FTO to put into service. One of the issues we have is the one we'd like to offer the job lives outside the county by about a mile, and he just bought this residence, and he's not really willing to try to sell and relocate. I went through the policies and stuff real quick, and I didn't see anything that pertained that they had to be in the county, but it's always kind of been an unwritten that we told everybody that you had to reside within the county. I just wanted to get the commissioner's take, or if they know of a policy, or if there's something that we can maybe work around.
It's nice to have them live in the county, but a mile in today's world isn't that far, really. I mean, so just on pavement, gravel. I mean, is he close to a paved road or what?
He's got about, it's a mile from the highway to his place. Okay. But I suppose if he took the road, it's going to be maybe a mile and a quarter, mile and a half. He'd have to travel some gravel.
So you don't have a problem with a response time getting to the county, or
he'll be living just north of Church's Ferry. You know, we don't know, we have nobody over there. Everybody's over here.
Okay.
It'd be nice to have somebody over in that area.
Yeah.
We're trying to encourage others. We had another deputy have some interest in moving to Starkweather. So if we can get them to the outlying areas, I think that'd be great.
I really don't see a problem. Would be nice to know there's one living a lot closer to me than in the heart.
Well, and the other aspect of this is the candidate's a really good candidate. Besides, you know, so I think he comes highly recommended. And
2 years of experience.
Yeah, and like Sheriff Lang indicated that there'd be less training time. Wouldn't have to send him to Post Boyard. I think the response time would not be affected greatly by having.
I mean, he's going to be on shifts most of the time, but
right. So they're working 12-hour shifts. So if he's on, he's going to be somewhere
patrolling anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's not responding from his residence. That would be
people
at the law enforcement center would have to come and then go on shift from there. Correct.
Yeah, we could work it that way. Or otherwise, we could let them take it home, and when he comes on shift and
And that really right there is the main concern is if he's coming on shift outside of Ramsey County, that's the only potential issue I see. There's no policy or there's no statute that requires them be residents. It's just if the commute to and from their residence and when they're going on shift is of concern to the commission. But that would be a policy, as Sheriff Lang has pointed out, that's a policy consideration for the commission. You stated you weren't able to find a policy.
yeah, I looked really quickly, so I didn't have enough time to thoroughly research.
Typically, all the deputies take their vehicles home, correct?
Correct.
Yep. And
To me, I guess that makes sense because
yeah,
if you're not on shift and something big goes down, I would much rather have his equipment and stuff with him. I mean, could be just as down the road 5 minutes from him as opposed to getting somebody from across the county,
Correct.
you know, in a big incident.
Right.
I think I see your concern about opening up a wormhole too, but I think this is something that the commission could take on a case by case basis, especially when you're looking at somebody with 2 years experience.
And the only other addition I would have is he probably still lives closer to the LEC than the farthest flung corner of Ramsey County. So as long as there's some consideration of how far he actually is from Ramsey County and how quickly could he be to the law enforcement center here to Devil's Lake, where the majority of those major calls come in. For them.
We should have a motion on that, I would suspect.
I'd go ahead and make that a motion that we allow that exception or the allowance of the individual living outside based on the sheriff's recommendation.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
That's all I had. Unless you have something for me.
Nope.
How's it going with grandson? They're coming along. I think our guys are starting to get a little tired, so he's looking to expand, to ask other counties to help out. So our deputies have been going over there on their time off. Actually, Benson County has hired them as part-time, so we don't have to deal with any of that. They take care of all the liability, the insurance on them and stuff. So I know Benson County is interviewing for their sheriff's position on Thursday. And I think they got, I believe it was 6 candidates that they're interviewing.
That's good news, I guess.
So hopefully
Possibly.
soon.
It might be bad for us. But. Okay, Sheriff, thank you.
Thank you.
Just a note on Benson County, they have not reached out for the MOU to be executed or anything like that. There's been no further conversations as far as I'm concerned. So it sounds like they consider it well handled with the part-time service of our deputies and other surrounding counties, I think.
Yep. The Highway Patrol has been helping out quite a bit with them too.
You're not worried about burnout with our staff that's been helping on their off time?
No, they actually been kind of regulating that themselves fairly well. Once they kind of get tired, they're taking their time off and utilizing it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I stressed to them when they did this. I said, yeah, the money's good, but you're going to need some downtime.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
My apologies to the commission. I have to head to a hearing.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Daniel. I believe that takes us into unfinished business which is the budget, and we've been working on that. Is there anything somebody would like to touch on before we move on?
Do we know where we're at with valuations and the number of mills yet?
I am just putting together now that I have everybody's stuff, which has been a big challenge this year. Yes, now I'm going to start to put together the mills and evaluation. It's like 77,650. And a rural mill is 50,638, I believe.
Any other questions or comments?
Are we at all interested in having an additional budget meeting prior to our public hearing on the, what is that, the 16th of September? Is that when we're doing our public hearing? So we can have things better finalized before we have a public hearing, or we all good with that?
Let's see. Right. How long will it take you to get that ready?
If we could schedule something next week.
Tuesday work?
Tuesday is bad for me.
Tuesday's bad for you. Okay. Wednesday?
Wednesday works for me.
Wednesday's bad.
No,
for
Wednesday.
me.
Yeah, well, you guys.
Wednesday afternoon would be. Thursday is bad.
Friday morning.
Friday afternoon would work for me, or Thursday afternoon.
Wednesday, not for me.
Okay, Wednesday's eliminated.
Thursday, you said no.
Well, Thursday is at
Oh, that meeting.
the legislative
Yep.
meeting down in Bismarck. That
Yeah.
should be at.
Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon is, Candy, don't you have homecoming that week?
Yep.
Yeah. Only one opportunity for a senior.
Yeah. I could probably do 10 o'clock Friday morning. That work?
I could do Wednesday afternoon if I can be on the phone.
Wednesday afternoon, work for anybody?
Wednesday afternoon would work. Yep.
So Wednesday the 10th.
Everybody say yes?
Yep.
Okay, what time?
Candy.
I want to try to get more departments in. I don't know, we can do 3 o'clock, 4
3
o'clock.
o'clock.
It
3 o'clock.
doesn't matter. I mean, if it's later in the day, it's fine.
3 o'clock work for everybody?
The later would be good.
Okay, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock on was Wednesday, September 10th.
Okay.
Weed board reappointment is in your packets. Believe it was Briston Berg. Is that right?
Mhm.
It's the only person that submitted anything, if I remember correctly.
I would move to reappoint Bristenberg to the weed board.
Second.
Motion and a second to reappoint Briston Berg to the weed board. Any other discussion? How many is that? 2 years? 1 year? 3 years? Okay. Ask for any other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Mountain Lake Zone Board resignation.
Lisa Holly, who was serving on the Mountain Lakes board, asked for a resignation. And at this point, we do not have somebody lined up yet, but we are going to have somebody by the next meeting. Or do we need to advertise that?
I think that that department has always found someone,
Okay.
and then it's been brought to us to.
We'll have a recommendation for you at the next meeting.
Good. Do we have to vote to accept it then?
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Motion to accept resignation of Lisa Hawley from the Mountain Lake Social Service Zone Board.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept the resignation of Lisa Hawley. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Review letter of support. So that was submitted by Paul.
Any other townships apply for that flex funding? I haven't seen any, but I'd certainly encourage them to do so.
Yeah.
I think that application deadline is coming up this month. Okay.
I think South Minnewacan Township brought one to me too. I think are two
Okay.
sites. One of them probably is a better candidate than the other, but I told them to help submit that for them. And then this letter of support is for the 14th Street Northwest by the Terminal Road, connects the city to the county's Terminal Road, and that's the one that they had closed this spring.
Yep.
For extended period, and that's happened multiple times.
Yeah.
So
this year it was really bad.
Yeah. I drove on and took some pictures to submit with the application to help give it some color. But the proposed fix is just doing the same thing we did in 14th Street Northeast a couple of years ago with cement treated subgrade fabric and gravel. That way you could just do probably fabric and gravel, but then if you ever wanted to pave it in the future, you wouldn't have the strength. So this way you're fixing it before you start building up. And it's got about the right width for it. It's 35 feet wide right now, graded width. So there should be enough room to.
How deep is that fabric?
You have to have a minimum of, it depends on my manufacturer and the type of fabric, but 10 inches is usually the minimum. And that's what we want to put on it. Some we can get by with 8, I think, but
that's why some of it's coming through the ground. We never would put in 10 inches.
No, I mean the minimum cover over the fabric.
I mean, it's terrible. As far as I'm concerned, the fabric is garbage.
Oh, you've got some of the fabric pumping out through.
They tear it up. That heat comes back, and it's terrible. Never fix it because they'll put gravel in there. If it doesn't get put down to 10 inches, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, sure.
I mean, if it's down to 10 inches, yeah, probably great. But if it's not down 10 inches, it's awful what I've seen. When it comes through, then the grader comes through there and they try to grade, and then they can't grade. They don't have enough fat, or they don't have enough material to work back into that. And then you should really take a backhoe out there and re-dig it in. If we're not going to it in 10 inches, I'd rather just dig it out, put clay in there, and, you know,
Yeah.
if it's not done properly, it definitely is not working.
Right. And then, so I think the estimate had the fabric width at like 28 feet, even though the road is 35. So you've got 3.5 feet on each side that's covered with gravel. So you're not catching the edge of it either if you're blading snow or whatever, or pulling or trying to pull gravel shoulders back up. So it should be all encased where they're not going to hit it.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and support the letter of support for the flex funding project on 14th Street Northwest.
Second. Motion and a second to have the chairman sign that letter. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
And I think Jason had a couple ideas for Ramsey County projects to submit to.
Okay.
And they would be competing, in the same buckets, but actually I think townships have their own bucket.
Yeah.
It's like counties and cities that are competing against each other.
Yep.
But
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next one would be review the inundated land letter. This came about with some discussion from Representative Freilich. I guess the hope is to maybe Devil's Lake's being studied with the inundated land, and she's kind of thinking that maybe it should be separate from all the other inundated land. So that's, she asked me to write that letter. I don't know if I sent it to her. She hasn't told me it was detrimental or not what she was looking for. So that's where that letter came about.
I think it's a good idea to have Devil's Lake separated. It's too complex of an issue to bunch up with a bunch of other regions around the state. So I would make a motion to go ahead and support that letter of.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second to have me sign that inundated land letter. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. VA credit. I believe there was just one of those.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion and second to approve the VA credit. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Visitors and delegations.
I have something else before we.
Oh, come on up.
Two things actually. While we're sitting.
I got a text message again this morning while we were sitting here. I've had some requests from some of the townships to rent our reclaimer, the gravel reclaimer. They'll use their own tractor and their own manpower. They just want the disc. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is we only have the one, and I really don't know how we would bill it. So much a mile, or
I would think
because we're not going to know how. That's the only way we're going to be able to track it, because there's no way to monitor how much it's being used.
Correct.
So that's one thing that we'll have to figure that out, and I'll bring that back to you. We'll look at now. We charge $75 an hour, but that's with the tractor and a man, and and we can cover 10 miles in an hour, 5 miles, lane miles both sides. So that's something we're looking at doing with some of the townships.
Is that something that we've done in the past?
No, we never have. So what their thought is, this fall before it freezes, they want to spray out their grass, which some of them have, and they want to cut that ledge off the road and make multiple passes, not just do one pass. They want to do like 2-3 rounds on their roads and get rid of that ridge. But what I've been telling people lately, when I started really thinking back about this, when we started seeing the troughing is when we went away from no windrows in the county. When the farm equipment got bigger and everybody wanted to get away from having to drive their stuff on the windrows, and we aren't allowed to go pull shoulders in the spring. No one wants those windrows. So we can't go grab that with the grader. Back, if you think when you were a kid, there was 2 foot of lumps and chunks on the side of the road. There isn't that anymore, but now the water stands on the edge because the water can't get off the road. So, because we're not cutting it off. If we go do that, then you're going to have a mess on the road. as some people have had us just do their driveways and stuff recently, and they get grass chunks and stuff because that's what happens. They cut the edge. So anyway, so I've been suggesting to them that maybe we look at going back to some windrows in some of these really bad townships in the spring, pick and choose, maybe don't do your whole township, but do half of it this year and half next year, or whatever. Because it's way more effective to pull it with the grader. But that's just conversation for you guys to have. That's been going around. We've been talking a lot of different townships about the reclaimer use. Like I say, we don't use it in the fall because you're supposed to do it before the grass is green. So unless they're going to kill the ditch grass on the shoulder, it's going to be ineffective. It's just going to slide across. It won't cut the green grass.
Gotcha.
Because it's just a single gang disc.
I got a question. If they're gonna kill the ditch,